This video is a response to an email I received. The individual wanted to know if they could do some modifications to a building and if it was even safe. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I would assume to be the original structure through some of the videos that I watched. And that would be roof rafters sitting on top of a beam at the bottom, a ridge beam at the top supported by a post, beam on the other side with some type of a post to post connection. Now, first thing I want to talk about is this post to post connection thing. It actually looks like it might be doing something, but it might not. The way that the roof is built with the post, this post is supporting this ridge beam. So if you can imagine, the post is preventing this from going down. And if this can't go down, it would be difficult for the beams on the outside to move. I hope that makes sense. If everything's built correctly, roof sheeting, you have seat cuts on the rafters, and everything is attached correctly, it would be very difficult for these walls to move if this brace was not here. If I built something like this, I might not put the braces in here. I might not, because I really don't see any reason to have them. And I do understand that it looks like it's doing something, but in reality, it might not be doing a lot. So I hope that makes sense. Just another view of how I think it's constructed. You have a beam here sitting on top of a post that would be inside of a wall. Same thing over here. A post supporting the ridge beam that would be inside the wall. The other beam and post, same thing as the other side. And then over here, we just kind of give you an idea of what it might be. Now, I don't think on, or I would doubt that you actually have concrete coming up. I would imagine that the footings, hopefully if they are there, are underneath the concrete, and the post is sitting on top of the slab. Now, the footings here, this is probably all we're going to have. The slab will be sloping, let's not forget. That's not a flat slab. Most carport slabs are at an angle. Another section of it there. Now let's take a look at some of the modifications that were made and some of the modifications that can be made that might be more helpful or helpful suggestions. So what we have currently is a wall that was built underneath the overhang. And one of the concerns was that the fascia, that it might actually create a leak, that the fascia, you just can't have the fascia board on top of the rafter. On the edge, you need some type of an overhang like you have at the bottom. And that's not necessarily true. If the fascia board is installed correctly and you do not have any water leaks on the inside, you can't see any water leaks on the wood, nothing's leaking on the ground, then everything should be working fine. And I don't think you would need to move this wall. Now, what about moving the post? We talked about that. The post, I think I would just leave it there. It's even if you move the wall over a little bit, I think you could make it work somehow by building a little cabinet or closet or a bookshelf, something like that, or just simply enclosing the corner. But if you move it, then you're going to be modifying the building. And this could actually create problems if there's anything that ever happened to the building. Now, here's something that you might need to consider also, that the beam might be engineered for the current span. Let's say the current span is 18 feet. And if we move it over a foot, that we would change the span to 19 feet. And if it, just by moving this post over, it might actually require a larger beam. So if you change anything existing structurally, you could have a problem. So I say just leave it. Leave the post there, and you can build a wall under the post, or you can build a wall. Really, you can build a wall a foot in this direction, 2 feet in this direction. It does not need to build underneath the post. The beam, I'm saying, because it's already supported by a post on each end. So this is just showing you another view of the post with a wall underneath it. The bottom plate, kind of another view here. Ceiling joists, we were talking about flattening the room on the inside, flattening the ceiling. You could be done by 2x6, I would imagine, 16 inches on center. If you can, tie them to the rafters. That's always going to provide you with some extra strength. If you have 24-inch on center roof rafters, tie the 16-inch on center rafters every 4 feet. Connect them to at least one of the rafters. You can use a ledger, nail a 2x6 to the framing studs wherever you move your wall to, and then use some hangers underneath the ceiling joist to support it, and that would be it for your flat ceiling. Just kind of showing you another view here. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, this is kind of weird the way it's constructed, but this wall was not underneath the beam. So it was kind of I don't really know why they did that, but I'm sure they have their reasons. So something like this, again, might not have footings underneath it. Would you need a footing for the center wall? Probably not. Not going to be a load-bearing wall, and you have everything supported by the post. Something like this would require footings around the perimeter, wherever the walls are, but I understand that it really is hard to argue with a building that's been, you have an existing carport that's been there for 30 or 40 years, and then people have modified it, turned it into a garage, turned it into a room, and there's no cracks, no structural problems, no footings underneath this stuff, and it's kind of hard to convince people to put footings underneath them. It might not be in their budget, or, again, it's hard to argue with something that's been sitting there for so long without any problems, and I'm going to tell you to go in and put some footings in there. I understand where you're at there. So anyway, I hope this helps. If it does, hit the old thumbs up button and let us know these are the videos you want more of.